Welcome to the Albert and Billy Show today on Channel 18 Valley TV. We are at Coke Ovens here in Dunlap, a historic landmark, Papa, don't you think?
And it's huge compared to my little mind's thinking.
Oh, no, I had no idea it was this big. No clue.
Well, I really didn't know what Coke was other than what you drank.
Yeah, we've done been shown what that was.
But we've learned. Had to have coal to make Coke.
Yeah, and we're sitting here in front of the Coke Ovens Museum.
Nice.
It's real nice, isn't it?
Nice. This is not
nice
sponsored by the federal government either.
No, and I didn't know that. I didn't really know
Nor the
if
Tennessee.
it was or not.
It's not tax dollar stuff.
Okay. Okay.
This is locally motivated and locally supported.
Right.
And anybody that visits, I'm sure they're allowed to make a donation every now and then.
I would think so, yes. And they need to. This,
it's worth preserving.
definitely.
We're talking about an era a couple hundred years ago maybe. Started. Closed probably about 100 years ago.
Yeah, and Mr. Brown just gave us a tour of the museum inside. It's really neat in there. And that's where you can see how big this park really is.
And to grasp the magnitude of what they were doing with all those little beehive ovens.
I know.
That was actually making the Coke.
And they're still here.
Yeah.
I like that. That's amazing.
Some
they're still
of them
here.
are partially gone, but
well, yeah, of course.
in essence, you can actually see some of the beehive ovens that were used to condense coal down into Coke.
I know.
And those of you that are interested in that, come and see for yourself. Come and read for yourself. It's here.
I would recommend anybody to come here. I used to come here when I was a little kid all the time. They had bluegrass festivals a lot, and Mr. Brown said they still do. And he actually said there's a wedding here in a few days. So it's definitely used for different things. That's how I remember it. I remember it more like a tourist attraction.
Well, I guess that's what they want it to be. I guess that's why it was preserved. Yeah. Somebody had to have that idea in their mind back there many years ago about what it would be and how it could still be utilized by the local citizenry. And not just locals. People from other states could come here and let this be part of their itinerary on their vacation.
I'm sure they do.
And the Sequoia Valley itself draws people. This 65-mile-long, beautiful valley that still encourages people to uproot from where they're living to come here and live.
That's true.
It's worth it.
It is a beautiful valley. We take it for granted, don't we?
I thought, well, to me, you'd want to settle in Pikeville first, but Dunlap second, you know.
Mr. Brown's laughing at that.
Can't say he wasn't expecting that.
Right. But we'll try to show some other parts of this beautiful place for you on today's show as well. Here in Dunlap. We've got a lot of fans here in Dunlap, so we wanted to come to Dunlap.
We do.
And film.
We do.
Get a lot of fan mail from Dunlap.
More so than any other city.
And Ruby, we tried to call you, Miss Ruby, but your number was busy, so I gave up.
She's probably trying to call me. She's probably trying to call me to check on me.
She might be. She might be. Because I know she lives pretty close to here. Because there's a neighborhood right next to this, and that's where she lives. By an auto shop, I do believe, and I know exactly where she's talking about. But had really bad news last night. Then we, of course, more will come out about this when this airs. But Jason Aldean concert last night. A terrible thing happened. 200 people were shot and 50 people were killed at a country music concert. That's shocking.
Well, I've never heard of anything of that magnitude happening other than a terrorist-activated deed in another country.
That's more a terrorist thing.
Yeah. But
from the sound of it, though, this is not a terrorist.
No, but the venue of any kind of concert, you know you're going to have, what, a few thousand people?
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants to make a big scene and make themselves well-known and famous or infamous, that's the best way to do it.
I know, unfortunately, there are people that want to do that and they're willing to die to get attention or something. I don't understand it. And he was 64 years old. Why would you snap at that age? That's weird.
Well, he might have had it for years. You don't know.
Yeah. May have controlled it all those years.
I noticed a new edifice being built over in Chattanooga on one of the roads that I took to go visit Eddie Albert at Memorial the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a large structure being constructed, and it was an Erlanger mental health facility that is being built. Mental health is a larger issue than it used to be.
Well, it is because there's not enough places for people to go. It's an epidemic, really. There's a lot of mentally ill people that walk the streets that really shouldn't be. And they're going to have to get a hold of it, or there's going to be more events like this that take place. They're going to have to get a grip on this because it's happening too much.
Well, I'm sure you're strapped when you get to dealing with the magnitude of the problem with the resources you have and the personnel you have.
Not enough money has been invested in it.
Well, that's true too, but your staff, remember the article that I did on gangs a couple of weeks ago? In Chattanooga, you got 400 police officers and you got 1,300 gang members. Go figure. So the same, I'm not going to say the same set of figures would apply, but I'm saying the problem versus the resources it's big.
Yeah,
it's
big.
Big.
It's real big. It's ridiculous.
So,
but they will have to get something that's going to have to give, though, or there's going to be a lot more mass murders like that. Because it's either a terrorist or it's somebody mentally ill that's snapped.
And then this is fodder for someone else out here that never even contemplated it. They may see what somebody did and say, well, I could do that.
I can do that, get attention. Which they always end up dead, so I don't understand that part of it either. This man, we think, had to kill himself because he was cornered.
Maybe he didn't have to, but maybe to begin with, that was his objective.
Well, I'm pretty sure he had to know he was going to die by doing that, because you're going to die if you do something like that. They're not going to let you live, and nor should they. Nor should they. He killed 50 people, so that's terrible.
Okay.
Well, you got last week's trivia for us, Pawpaw.
Wearing and ready.
If I remember correctly, it was really difficult.
Oh, really? My question could be difficult?
And he does that on purpose.
You wait till you get to this week's then.
Oh, I bet it's going to be ridiculous today, Allie.
Okay, last week's trivia, the first question was, when Francis Scott Key wrote the poem, the defense of Fort McHenry, that poem was later changed to the Star-Spangled Banner. I wonder what spangled means. Anyway,
I don't know.
What war were we fighting? What war were we fighting?
No, it's the War of 1812.
War of 1812.
We got that last week.
In that war, who was the enemy, and where did the fighting take place?
I believe we established what the enemy, Britain.
The British.
Okay. And the fighting, I don't remember
Fort McHenry.
that part. Okay.
Well, what state was Fort McHenry in?
Where's Fort McHenry at, Allie? Maryland.
All right.
Maryland.
Question number 3. Why are the Steelers called the Steelers? Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's something to do with Pittsburgh being the Steel City, isn't it?
So I'd say that has a lot to do with it.
Okay.
And I mentioned South Pittsburgh.
South Pittsburgh, which is just down the road.
They were named after Pittsburgh. It
I
was
didn't
the
know
Pittsburgh
that.
of the South.
The Pittsburgh of the South. I like
See, you
that.
got to listen, Billy. You got to listen.
I know, it's your favorite word.
Question number 4. Question number 4. Can you give me the name of the most remembered quarterback of the New York Jets?
Well, I said Joe Namath.
You said Joe Namath. Now I ask you the next question. What was his nickname? And you did not know.
I did not know.
You had a whole week to research.
I know, I forgot.
Would you say that he was a flamboyant man?
Mm-hmm.
His nickname was Broadway Joe.
Broadway Joe. Okay.
Because he could hang out all night and do what he wanted to do and still quarterback a team.
Didn't affect him.
Yeah, seemingly didn't.
He was pretty famous.
That's what I said. To me, I don't remember another quarterback of the Jets that was as well known.
No.
Okay, next question. Blank is the mother of invention.
Blank is the mother of invention. Didn't we kind of get this?
No, you didn't.
We didn't get it.
But why do people
Why
invent?
are you calling it the mother?
Why do people invent what they invent?
Why do people invent what they invent?
Who invented the match? Who invented the light bulb? Why did they do it?
To make life easier.
Okay.
And I guess to make a little money, because I'm sure they all got very wealthy.
But they were meeting a need, necessity.
It was out of necessity.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Oh,
that's what gets people's mind going. Hey, I think I can do something about that. I'm going to try. Maybe they try 10,000 times, but on the 10,001st time, it works.
I wish I could invent something, but I can't think of nothing to invent.
Now,
I think it's all been invented.
Not yet. Got a $1,000 phone came out this year.
Oh.
This next one, Patricia got it.
Did
I
she?
said, finish this statement. Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. Blank, 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 blank. And she knew it.
Oh. Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief.
Doctor,
lawyer,
Indian chief.
Doctor, lawyer, Indian chief.
Yeah. That's an old saying.
Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief.
See, I learned that when I was a boy. That's 100 years ago. Listen, this next one.
I'm listening.
In the spring, a young man's fancy lightly blank, 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 blank.
Oh, this one was ridiculously hard.
No.
Yes, it was.
But I dispute it. I disagree with it. In the spring, a young man's fancy lightly turns to... What happens in the spring?
Everything blooms, comes to life.
New life.
Mm-hmm.
And a young man falls in love.
Falls in love in the spring.
In the spring, a young man's fancy lightly turns to thoughts of love. But that ain't true. I've watched those high school kids up there. Those boys don't wait till spring.
You do. I know. I've heard of spring people saying love is in the air.
Yeah.
And things like
love
that.
Is in there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, this one. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but...
Words will never hurt me.
And that's not true.
No, it's not true. I don't know who come up with that, but it's not true.
Words will hurt you. Words do hurt you.
They hurt worse, I believe.
A spoken word can never be retracted.
That is a problem, yes.
Okay.
Can't take it back.
I ask you this one. What two men were always cast in movies where dancing was the featured part of the movie?
I got one. Fred Astaire.
Fred Astaire is the #1 dancer in all the musical movies that I ever saw.
Yes, he was known for that.
40s and 50s and 60s. But the second one was Gene Kelly. Singing in the Rain was the #1 movie I remember him doing.
Okay.
And the name of the song was Singing in the Rain. The name of the movie was Singing in the Rain. And here he is out in the rain singing with an umbrella. And
yeah, I have seen that. I've seen that.
That's last.
Both of them have passed away, right?
Well, I'd say they have. I saw them when I was a kid. long time ago.
Well, I thought you might know when they passed away.
No, well, no.
No.
I know I haven't
A while
yet.
back.
I haven't yet.
Well, I know. I know that. All right, well, coming up after the break, we'll have this week's trivia. Can't wait to see how hard that's going to be. I know it's going to be hard, Allie. So we'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to the Albert and Billy Show on Channel 18 Valley TV. We are here at Coke Ovens. We're inside the Coke Ovens Museum now. This is called the Johnson Room, and you can see a lot of memorabilia in here. And we'll have Allie get some good shots of all this later. We're going to get some good shots of the actual Coke Ovens. It's a beautiful place down here, isn't it, Papa?
It is historical.
It is, very historical.
I mean, to the nth degree.
Yes.
Somebody has spent a lot of time, and I'm sure a lot of people have contributed to the assets that are here for people to view.
I think so, too.
I mean, this is second to none.
And he said they're going to have a festival, I believe, in June. So they do still have bluegrass festivals. I was interested in knowing that.
You know, I'm wondering how many areas in the United States would have access to something like this, where Coke was actually made.
I would say not many. I would say not many at all, because
maybe it's somewhere in Kentucky because of all the Kentucky coal mining operation. And Oneida, Tennessee, I think had.
Oneida has it too?
Well, I'm just saying they had a big coal operation. I don't know about.
Well, I would say any place with a big coal operation, yes.
Yes, but still somewhere there's got to be someone that came up with the idea of preserving and utilizing.
Yeah, they were smart.
This era of history in this community.
They were very smart to do that.
Very smart. But all these artifacts probably have been donated by someone who had a family member that they remember working here.
Oh yeah, I'm
being
sure.
Being a part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're talking about 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, the operation probably more than 100 years ago, but the ending of the operation was about 100 years ago.
Well, it is time for this week's trivia.
Yes, we got to do that because I want to see how many you can get right.
The way you're acting, probably none.
Really? Now, Billy,
I can just tell they're going to be very difficult.
I don't want to put the monkey on your back. I want the people that are watching to have a part in this. I'm asking them the question.
That's right,
not
viewers.
necessarily you. So remember that.
Help me out here, viewers.
All right. Question number 1. What actor gave us...
And my lifeline, Allie here.
The Wolfman.
What actor gave us...
Way back in the 1940s or 50s. One man was always portrayed as the Wolfman. Dan
Young would know this one.
He probably would.
Because he talked about that one day on the radio. But
second question. When a movie needed a vampire, who did they call him?
Crap, Papa.
These type of movies.
I used to know the answer though. I heard Dan done this on the radio one day, and the names are not coming to me. Vaughn something. Am I close?
No, Lon.
Lon, maybe.
On the first one.
Lon. Well, I was close.
And see, these men get stereotyped.
They got stereotyped, and
so they never could be a leading man in a love story.
No,
they had to be the wolf man and a vampire.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Yeah.
But
a vampire.
But John Wayne didn't mind being typecast as a cowboy.
Well, no, he made a good living out of it. That's for sure.
Question number 3: Where is Puget Sound?
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Puget Sound.
Very important part of the operations of a state and certain cities in that state about seagoing vessels being allowed to come into port. Cities like Seattle and Tacoma.
Puget Sound then would be, is it in Washington?
Washington. Very good, very good. Okay, where's Chesapeake Bay? Same thing.
Chesapeake Bay.
I've been there, by the way.
You have?
Yeah. Went through a tunnel under Chesapeake Bay.
Chesapeake Bay. Dang it, Allie. The Lifeline's let me down. Is it in Chicago?
No. You got to get to the ocean, because here again, I said seagoing vessels, Chesapeake Bay.
Well, is it on the west coast or the east coast?
East Coast. I got one on the west coast, Puget Sound. I got one on the east coast.
Chesapeake Bay. East Coast.
We'll go to the next question.
Crap. I don't know it. Virginia?
Virginia's one of them. Very good, Billy.
Okay.
I'll give you a half.
Is Maryland another one then? Is it D.C.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, a lot. If you're looking around in
tough.
the Catskill Mountains, what state are you in?
You're in New York.
Very good. I knew you would know that.
You did not.
Okay, what well-known comedy team gave us the routine, who's on first?
Who's on first? I don't get it.
Here again, we got to go back to the 50s and 60s. But they were an outstanding team, a comedy team. You had a straight man and you had a buffoon. One of them was a straight man that always asked the questions.
Simon and Garfunkel?
No. Well, you remember Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. Dean Martin was a straight man. Dean Martin was a straight man, and Jerry Lewis was the comedian.
Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis. Okay.
So this is a comedy team, but we got to go back past Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis to get them. But they had this routine. Who's on first? And it was hilarious. But anyway, you don't know.
No.
The NFL Hall of Fame Museum was founded in 1962. Where?
The NFL Hall of Fame Museum.
Been there.
You've been there?
I've been there.
Is it in Pennsylvania?
Nope.
Chicago?
No, it's not in Chicago, but it's in Ohio.
It's in Ohio. It's in Cleveland?
No.
Well, crap.
Next
NFL?
question. Now listen to this one. You need to get this one. A very good college football coach was hired at Tennessee. And later, as play ended in the Gator Bowl between Tennessee and the University of Florida, he was hired at the end of that game by Florida. What was his name?
Why did Tennessee and Florida play each other in the Gator Bowl?
They played in the Gator Bowl. Our coach was a good coach, and at the end of that game, he announced, I'm going to be playing for Florida. I'm going to be coaching for Florida. Sure did.
This must have been a long time ago, too, because now the bowl games put you with different conferences. Like 2 SEC teams wouldn't play in the Gator Bowl now.
Probably not, but bear in mind that we didn't have 14 teams in the Southeastern Conference back then. Mm-hmm. But also bear in mind, there was an era there where most of your SEC teams were invited to bowls because of the location of the bowls. They were able to get fans to come to those bowls. Most of them were in Florida or real close. Yeah. So the SEC had it made. How many fans would come from the state of Washington to a bowl game in Florida?
Right. Not very many.
Not very many.
They would go more likely to California.
But anyway, you don't know.
Well, should I know that one? Because that seems pretty tough.
Well, in the history of Tennessee, if you followed Tennessee history, you would know. Okay,
well,
next question.
Apparently I don't.
Let's see if you know this one. One of the Vols football coach's dad had been coach of a hated SEC rival. Who was the coach and who was his dad? We hired him to coach Tennessee, and his dad had been coach at one of our hated schools.
He was a train wreck, too. Derek Dooley.
Derek Dooley, what was his dad's name?
Vince Dooley.
Okay.
Now from Georgia.
So that would be after the other one.
I know, I can't think of that other one. Johnny Majors?
I bet you.
No, he went to Pittsburgh.
But he came back home, didn't he? Last question. In football, you see a TD and you have a QB.
Yeah.
But in what sport do you have a TKO?
Boxing.
Boxing. That wasn't as easy.
That wasn't too bad. That one wasn't.
You got 4 right, 4.5.
Well, that's pretty. Well, I ended up getting Maryland, didn't I?
Yeah, you got Maryland. That's right. You got all of it, Virginia and Maryland. And no, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There we go.
That's you know, if you're playing baseball and you bat 500, you're good.
Doing pretty good, aren't I? Yeah.
Do you know who the last 400? You know the last baseball player to bat over 400 in a season? For a year, he batted over 400. And now you won't find anybody hardly batting 300.
Did he play for your Dodgers?
No. He played for the Boston Red Sox.
The Boston Red Sox, really?
Yeah. His name was Ted
Williams.
Ted Williams. He batted .406 for a whole year.
Well, that's pretty good.
That means every time
that's really good, actually.
Every time you step up the plate and you bat 10 times, you're going to get a hit 4 times.
Yeah.
That's
can't really beat
good.
that.
That's good.
Well, I guess that's it for this week's trivia.
That's it
Thank
for
goodness.
this week's trivia. Well,
But I did
proud
pretty
of
good.
you.
I did pretty good.
I'm
yeah.
proud of you. I really
did
am.
pretty good. I'm proud of myself. All right, coming up next will be sports.
Sports of all sorts.
Right here on the Albert and Billy Show from Channel 18 Valley TV. Welcome back to the Albert and Billy Show. Here at Coke Ovens, we're inside the museum, and we have moved into the members room now, Papa.
This is something else.
Yeah, I recommend anybody to make a trip to Coke Ovens for sure.
And you know, you might not get to do it all in one day.
I know, it's a huge
place. Because if you
place.
take time to read what's the pictures say, or some of the exhibits say,
Yeah,
then you might want to come back again another day.
I agree. I agree because it is a
It's
much
fabulous.
larger place than I remember. Much larger. Well, it's time for sports.
Sports of all sorts.
Not a lot of good news in sports, that's for sure. Bad time to be a UT fan.
Well, you know what? There were 102,455 went to the game Saturday.
Oh,
I want to ask you a serious question.
yeah.
We don't play this Saturday, so we can't get defeated.
Right.
But our next game will be against South Carolina.
I mean, we should beat them, but
But no,
I
I'm
don't
just
know
saying,
anymore.
do you seriously think there will be 102,455 show up?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why?
Because Tennessee stinks this year.
Tennessee stinks.
Bye-bye, Butch. Been nice knowing you.
I remember a ball coach. Bill Battle was his name.
Is that the one with Florida?
One Sunday morning, he woke up with a moving van outside his house.
Oh, really?
Somebody paid a moving van company to park one of their trucks in front of his house to send him a message.
I reckon so.
They sent him one. He was gone.
I can't believe that's not happened to Butch yet.
Well, the article I read in the
it
paper yesterday, one of the things I read, from last week's game, was there should be several moving vans parked in front of Butch Jones' house.
I agree.
That was just after UMass.
Yeah.
UMass lost again yesterday, by the way.
I mean, I knew he was going to be in hot water for barely getting by UMass, and then to get destroyed by Georgia like that. Didn't even score.
But Bledsoe County Warriors, well, no, we played Tyner Friday night.
about to say.
We got beat too. I was going to see if I had something good. Hey, UTC. No, they got beat
Did
too.
they get beat too?
Oh, well.
I told you the sports is going to be tough today.
Well, here's the thing, that this generation of fans, my age and down, even older than me, we have never seen Tennessee get defeated at home 45-0.
No.
You have to go back, well, no, it's 41-0. We have to go back to 1905 to see a 45-0 score. So this is the worst drubbing at home that we ever received since 1905. Can you imagine that?
No.
It's hard to stomach.
I know he was already in hot water. And now he's, about to drown in it.
South Carolina's going to come strolling in here week after next, and you would think they can't beat us.
I don't know anymore. I don't know if Tennessee can beat anybody anymore.
Well, this 121st team of the Tennessee football team is a poor representation of the past programs that we've put on the field.
I agree.
It's ugly.
Yeah, it is.
So 102,455 fans won't show up the next home game.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I know so.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know so. I'm not that much of a prognosticator, but I believe I'd be safe in saying so.
I think so.
Peyton Manning was there.
I know.
Saturday, but why was he there?
Oh, can't remember. Hall of Fame, maybe.
He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame at halftime. He was honored. But he backs Butch Jones all the way, he said.
Did he say that before the game or after?
Before the game.
Okay.
That was the most devastating playing. The comparison between those two teams is daylight and dark. Georgia's coach has been there. This is his second year. Our coach has been here. This is his fifth year. Kirby Smart and his team and his coaches had a team prepared. Butch Jones and 5 new coaches, I think that might be part of our problem, did not have our team prepared to play. We had 142 yards of total offense. We had 7 first downs for a game. 7 first downs?
Yeah.
We had the leading rusher in the Southeastern Conference out of 14 teams. And he got 58 yards. He didn't even get 3 yards per carry because he couldn't go through. There was no place to go, no place to run.
I stopped watching the second half. Yeah, the second half. Why I continue to watch that crap?
Well, our coach had one sentence to say after the game. Now, I read every article on the Sunday paper about the game. He had one sentence, and this is all he said. It was as bad of an offensive performance as I've ever been a part of, and it's inexcusable. As many years as he's been coaching, he's never seen an offense play that poorly until Saturday.
I'm sure. It was sad.
What could you say? But in the SEC, Auburn, number 13, took care of Mississippi State. They were number 24. And number 21, Florida, was 14 better than Vandy. So Vandy lost another one.
Vandy's 2 in a row now.
Number 25, LSU.
They lost to Troy.
They lost to Troy.
So things
as
are not
bad
too
as
well
Tennessee is,
yeah.
Ed Oregon's got a...
He's in hot water too, I would say, after that one.
Which one's in the hottest water?
I don't know. That was at LSU too.
I think both of them's in boiling hot water.
I do too. I couldn't believe that.
And then Arkansas got by New Mexico State handily.
Well, they should have, yeah.
Kentucky slipped by Eastern Michigan, 24-21.
That
Can you
should
believe
have been more
that?
of a blowout.
Here again, that's saying to you, Tennessee can play with LSU. Tennessee can play with Vanderbilt. Tennessee can play with Kentucky. But will they?
I don't know. I don't know if they have the confidence and the belief
Texas
anymore.
A&M was 1 touchdown better than South Carolina. So we got to play South Carolina.
Where was that one at?
It'd be at Knoxville.
No, where was Texas A&M, South Carolina? Was it at South Carolina?
I don't really know
Texas
where
A&M?
they played. I don't know if it was at Columbia or not. But every school in Tennessee lost Saturday, I believe. Let's see. Tennessee Tech lost, UTC lost, Middle Tennessee lost, Memphis lost, UT Martin lost, ETSU lost, Cumberland lost, Carson Newman won.
Well, there's one.
And Austin Peay. Hey, listen, Austin Peay's doing good.
Well, at least 2 teams in Tennessee won.
Let's go to basketball. I'm tired of
Something
football.
else, yes.
Hey, Russell Westbrook, you know him? He's still at Oklahoma State. But he's being joined this year by Paul George.
Oklahoma City, you mean?
Yeah.
NBA, yeah.
He's being joined by Paul George.
From the Pacers.
And also the new man, Carmelo.
Carmelo Anthony?
He signed with them.
With Oklahoma City?
Yeah, so Westbrook's got some help coming.
Well, they're going to be good.
He signed a new contract for 5 years, $205 million.
It's ridiculous, but yeah, they're going to be a force to be dealt with then,
yes,
for sure.
I think so. And this is a special. The 50th anniversary on Saturday, September the 20th, was Kentucky's introduction for the first black varsity football player, Nate Worthington.
Okay.
And then that was between two Southeastern Conference teams. And there was a 1-minute documentary played to commemorate this fact. And then on December the 2nd, 50 years ago, the SEC basketball color barrier was broken. So it's been that long ago that blacks were allowed to compete in the Southeastern Conference, 50 years ago this month.
50 years ago. I didn't know how long it had been.
50 years ago.
That's not that long if you think about it.
No. Baseball. Baseball season
How's your Dodgers doing?
Well, the season ended yesterday. Aren't you glad? Mm-hmm. Now the playoffs begin. By the way, my Dodgers won 102 ball games for the season.
More than anybody?
More than
this
anybody.
Year?
But that's not the record. The record was set in 1954, 111.
Well, I said this year.
But anyway, we're going to be in the playoffs. Washington won their division in the East. The Cubs won in the Central, and the Dodgers won in the West. So now we get to see the fun start. It winds down to one team in the National League, one team in the American League, and we'll have a World Series.
You think the Dodgers and Cubs will be playing for the National League Championship?
You would think, but you don't ever know.
No, you don't never know in postseason. No.
This year in baseball, there were more home runs hit than ever in history. And I wonder why. Could it be because the ball's been juiced up? Could it be because the hitters are just better? Stanton hit 59 Stanton hit 59 home runs. That's more than anybody. Nobody in the American League got that many. But you have to go back to the era. Sammy Sosa hit 73 one year. Mm-hmm. But that was back when the steroid scandal broke. You know,
I know.
They were having help. Mark McGwire. And Sammy Sosa, they were having help with their when they hit the ball. They had a little more oomph.
They cheated.
They cheated. And but the scandal's gone. The steroid use is gone. Stanton actually hit 59 home runs. So there were more home runs hit this year than ever before. 6,105.
That's a lot.
More strikeouts. So pitching is better.
Mm-hmm.
40,105. No 20-game winner. Nobody won 20 games.
That's odd.
There were only 59 complete games pitched in a 162-game season for all 30 teams. That's ridiculous. What it is, that manager, whenever that man out there seems like he's a little tired and he's giving up too many base hits, he goes and pulls him out.
Yeah.
He's got other men ready and willing to come in and play for him, and so that's what he does.
They're using that more this year.
In golf, the President's Cup was decided yesterday, and President Trump went by in New Jersey just to check on things.
He did, didn't he?
And we won. We won the President's Cup. We beat the international team.
Well, good.
That's good.
If you did go to that.
And if you don't like golf,
he was making tweets about North Korea too the whole time. Remember? He called that man Rocket Man.
You know, the United States might be sorry that tweeting was ever invented.
I know.
By the time he gets through tweeting.
He was calling him Rocket Man, though. I was getting a kick out of that yesterday.
I read where Kim Kim Jong, what is his name?
It's easier to call him Rocket Man. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I read word somewhere where he said he was the sexiest man alive.
Well, he's delusional too.
Well, if that's the case, I'm in the running.
Yeah. I reckon so, gosh. Rocket Man. Rocket Man. But he was tweeting that the whole time he was at the golf tournament, Donald Trump was at. It was pretty entertaining. It was pretty entertaining.
Well, he's been heavily involved in this issue about the
NFL, yes.
NFL.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
He's not staying quiet on it either.
Nope. Nope. NFL got a lot of hate for that, though. Had very low ratings, and arenas half empty. So I think they need to stop. People don't give a crap about their opinion on politics. So just play the game and shut up. That's what they want you to do.
Well,
you're not going to have a game to play.
Professional sports in general, I think the participation level on the part of the fans has lessened. I think part of that's due to the cost of tickets. And I think to make my statement true or have some validity, the newer stadiums that are being built have less seats available to sit in.
Yeah, they have to do that so they can make them look full, because they know not as many people are going. So that's what I'm saying. They're just shooting themselves in the foot by doing this. Well, they want to get involved in politics. They need to move to Washington.
Well, don't you think part of it?
They want to play ball, then play ball.
Well, yeah, but don't you think part of it might be the cost of a ticket?
Of course it is, yeah. And
the cost of taking your family out to the ball game to feed them. The only place I know if you can get a bargain is the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That guy,
no.
He said you can eat here the same as you do at one of my restaurants.
That's why I said that. Like, they're already struggling, so why make it worse? That's the point I'm making.
When Carolyn and I went to our first baseball game in 1962, we didn't realize it, but when we read the paper the next day, it said that 49,000 some odd people were at that ball game that night, and that it was the largest crowd to witness an athletic event in the state of Georgia in 1962. 49,000 people came to watch a baseball game. I have been to baseball games at Atlanta when there would be 3,000 since then. Really?
Yeah.
But that night,
they had a tough stretch there for a long time, though.
Well, back then they were in their heyday, I guess. And the Dodgers had Sandy Koufax.
Gotta get them Dodgers in one last time, though.
You don't have Sandy Koufax every year.
No, that's true. All right, well, that's it for sports.
Of all sorts.
Of all sorts.
Didn't mention marbles.
It's a good thing because it's not a sport. Not a sport. All right, coming up some Albertology, and we'll be interviewing Mr. Brown.
Ed Brown.
Ed Brown about Coke Ovens, where we're at today.
He's very knowledgeable.
He is. That's coming up after the break. Welcome back to the Albert and Billy Show, and we're joined now with Mr. Ed Brown, who pretty much is the head honcho nowadays, aren't you, over Coke Ovens?
Well, there's a board here, and the Sequatchie Valley Historical Association actually oversees this. I'm just part of the staff members right now.
How many comprise the operation? Who looks after it? How many of you?
We actually have a president, vice president, secretary, and a treasurer, and about 4 board members. And they're the ones that actually, in our meetings, we actually meet once a month for that.
So that's your responsibility then?
Yes.
So it's a pretty big operation.
And it's about 85 acres here. The grass cutting is kind of extensive to keep it cut when you have a good year like we did this year.
Yeah, all the water.
All the water we've had.
We've had a lot of rain this year. Too much, if you ask me.
Last year we probably saved a little money after that drought. We do a festival in June. It is our big fundraiser for the operation of keep the museum and the park maintenance going. And
that's your Bluegrass Festival, correct?
Yes. In June, first weekend in June.
So it's a weekend deal, 2 days or 3 days?
No, it's Friday and Saturday.
Just 2 days.
And the first Saturday in June is what determines when it is. Every once in a while it's the 31st of May.
Oh, okay. And will this be like your 30th annual or over 30th annual?
This past June was 31.
Okay.
31 years we've been doing the festival.
Well, you're to be commended.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you had some board changes, or is everyone still on board?
No, we change out every once in a while. We'll get we actually elect officers this month, new officers.
Well, I think maybe I come to one of your first ones then, because I truly believe I was here in '86 and '87.
Well, I think it started in '84, didn't you say?
Yeah, it started in '86. Now the festivals did.
Mm-hmm. In '86, there was a bunch of people here for it, wasn't there? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, I was here for that. I was a little kid, but I remember that. And it was at the amphitheater, I'm sure.
Right straight across this rock wall here.
And these are the ovens.
These are the beehive ovens behind us here.
Beehive
Part
ovens.
of them. 268, did you not say? Altogether?
Yes, 268. This is a lower 100, as we call it. There's 50
wow.
on each side of this, and then there's 168 in that direction towards the creek, towards the foot of the mountain.
And so all of these were utilized at one time?
Back in the early 20th century there. The operation started in 1899 and it shut down in 1927.
Wow.
Coal off from the top of the mountain out here.
It's beautiful out here. It really is.
Peaceful.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
So you still get a good crowd for the Bluegrass Festival?
We've done fairly well the last few years. If it rains, it hurts us.
I'm sure.
It's an outside event.
Yeah.
And we have to move it over to the pavilion if that's the case. But this year we had great weather for it. Had a nice crowd.
Good. Good.
We use regional musicians is what I call them, southeast Tennessee here.
Okay.
From North Georgia and Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But
a lot of them come each year.
Yeah.
But now you can't stand there and tell me you never did do any of it yourself.
Oh, well, I play a little bit.
Play a little. I know you quite well.
Yeah.
So have you been able to play in each one of them?
Most of them I have played in it.
Yeah.
He's cool. Very talented, Billy.
I know. I hear that. Yes. And I can't believe.
I appreciate that. But I just say that I own a banjo is what I do.
You own a banjo.
Anybody can own a banjo.
Well, anybody can own it, but not anybody can play it, though. That's for sure. It's not easy to play a musical instrument.
Well, did you teach some to him?
I teach, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, so you give banjo lessons?
I give banjo lessons and guitar and a few other instruments. We just had a picture put on the back of a national magazine called Bluegrass Unlimited. And we took the picture over on the stage here, and it's been about 6 or 7 years ago. And we had 5 banjo players, 2 bass players, 2 guitars, 3 guitars in this picture. And it's a real colorful picture, and I sent it to the owner that builds the ohm banjos. And there was 4 of those banjos out of the 5 was ohms on the front end of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And he used it, I know, in a festival in Kansas, but he put it on the back of this national magazine, Bluegrass Unlimited. It just came out. I got mine a week ago Friday, I guess it was.
Oh, really?
Well, you got big time.
I know.
Hey, it was a shock. My wife first found it on the back. I just seen the magazine laying there on the table when we got the...
Oh, so you didn't know about it, so it was a surprise.
It surprised me. And she went to, she's in the kitchen. I heard her in there hollering out loud. I thought somebody sent her $1 million probably. But it's that picture. And actually, a friend and I had just come back at that Saturday from Newell Angels.
Oh, yeah.
Service up there at the Oak Grove.
Now, Newell was big in music, too.
Mm-hmm. He was. I've known Newell since 1960 playing with him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, now, he really liked my wife. He came to the store and traded with us for many, many years.
Well.
And he would ask me about her while she was sick. Mm-hmm. And I appreciated that. But he would like for her to wait on him when he came to the grocery store.
Really? Well, he was a great guy.
He loved music.
Talented musician.
A lot of those Angels were.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were. JD, you know JD?
Yeah, JD.
Yeah. Former DJ at WUAT for years.
Yeah, that's right.
Years and years.
I thought about that.
JD came down several years ago for a while and helped us play over here at the nursing home with us playing the steel guitar.
Oh, really?
Okay.
He still plays quite a bit, I believe, doesn't he?
You know, I've not seen JD in several years.
Really? I see him every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I see him once in a while.
In passing and stuff, you know.
Give him a howdy from down here in Dunlap.
I'll do that. I think he's a fan of the show, actually. So yeah.
Well,
so yeah. So he'll see this. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, now you told me that the availability of the resources here for people to come and visit is on a limited basis. Would you mind going over that again for our viewers?
About visitors that come?
Yes.
Well, you're welcome to come to the park at any time.
All right.
Yeah, the park is wide open here.
Okay.
We have a kind of a sundown. You need to leave the park at sundown.
But people come in and eat, have picnics.
Picnics. People comes up here and eats their lunch all the time. People comes up here and walks. We got walking trails back through here.
All right, that's good.
You can visit. Now you can schedule the pavilion over if it's open for a specific. We have a lot of birthdays,
family
reunions.
That's good.
My family had a reunion here about 6 weeks ago up there. You have to kind of schedule that though, and then the picnic shelters are open at any time, as long as somebody's not reserved it. We'd have a sign on there saying if it's reserved.
Right.
But you can just make yourself at home here anytime. Now the museum's only open on the weekend, Saturday 8 to 4 and Sunday 12 to 4. And we shut it down around Thanksgiving time till sometime in April.
I don't blame you for that.
The museum, not the park.
So it is limited.
Yeah,
the museum,
the museum is, but now the park is not. It's open year round.
But the museum is your the largest attraction.
It is,
in my opinion. But of course, now the availability of the ovens to be seen would be somebody could walk around here anytime too, and see these. Because
like
this
you actually have people from Louisiana here right now.
From Louisiana.
Yeah, I saw them earlier.
This is.
They're just looking around. Yeah.
This is a very historical site.
Yes, it is.
And again, Ed, for the viewers, why don't you tell them why these ovens are here and what they did in making Coke, how they made it?
These ovens they started building them again in 1899, and these ovens, what they do is you take coal and you burn it by controlling the air. You give it very little air and it will burn the impurities out of the coal, and it'll make almost pure carbon. It's like 95% carbon, and the technical name for this is called Coke. Versus, if you know what charcoal is, that we cook all those burgers and hot dogs and all that stuff with, that's made from wood, and they control the air. Then it doesn't burn up into ashes when you just give it a little bit of air. And these ovens create a really good product for the steel industry. All the coke made here went down the valley by rail and went around to Chattanooga to the foundries back in the first part of the previous century. And this company shut down in 1927. And there was pockets of coke ovens here in the southeast.
Not just here.
Not just here. There was Whitwell had an operation down there where they brought coal off the mine, off the top of the mountain also. But there was some coke ovens out in Grundy County, up in Ray County, down in edge of Georgia.
But all those had to utilize the rail system for their product to be moved.
That was a big key. Of course, the biggest operations in the country was up in Pennsylvania and West Virginia.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh up there in that area, they had a district of coke ovens, and there was over 50,000 coke ovens up in there.
Goodness.
Wow. So by utilizing coke as opposed to burning coal for your home or for your business, it was safer to use the coke because of the emissions.
It was.
You wouldn't be having a lot of emissions that would go into the air that would be unhealthy.
But it was a cost thing why people use coal.
Well, yeah, because the coke had to be more.
It had to be there. You got all that manufacturing process cost added into that.
Be more expensive, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I know when I was a kid, we burnt coal in various houses.
We did too. When I was a boy, of course, all we had was a grate.
Right.
Had a grate in each bedroom, and that's how you heated the house, the whole house, with no fan to get any distribution of the air either. You know, just whatever would come out of that. Of course, most of it was going up the chimney anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
There's people walking the trails there. And you said there's a wedding at the ovens?
At the end of these ovens this Saturday, there's going to be a wedding there.
So a lot of people do that too.
Well, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but would you say a few people have a wedding here?
Yeah. We've had numerous weddings. I know of 3 different musician friends that got married here.
Really? They do it because of the beauty, I'm sure.
And we also get a lot of people come up here and do pictures.
Oh, I bet.
It's just a lot of nice settings. Somebody with a good eye, good photographer can create a nice.
So you probably have a lot of photographers doing shoots here. Probably class pictures too, I would say.
You'd have to say this is unique.
It is.
Because in the southeast here, would you say where would you say the nearest one would be? It'd be comparable to this. 268 beehive coke ovens.
Oh goodness, that was in a park.
Yeah.
That would be available for people to look at.
I don't know of any.
You don't know of any?
No.
There's a few that you can see out in Grundy County, but they just had a very few, and it's on the side of a road out there.
But there's no effort to let people be aware of it and to utilize it in any way. So this is really a one-of-a-kind situation for this area in Tennessee.
Now, about a couple of weeks ago, I was keeping the museum open, and I was surprised there was a limousine drove up and a car behind it. And this family got out, and they were taking pictures. They were in tuxedos, and a young girl was in a fancy dress. And it was a Hispanic family, and you know they really do the 15th year of a girl.
Oh yeah, they do.
That's what it was. They were
Concietta or Quincetta or something like that. I know I'm not saying it right, but it's something like that. Yes, yes, that's true. Hispanic girls, their 15th birthday is a big deal.
Big deal.
So that's what they were doing.
That's what they were doing.
Quincetta maybe is what it's called.
Quincetta.
Something like that.
15th.
Something like that. Yeah.
15th day.
With an A on
it.
Yeah.
Well, with an A on the end of the word is feminine. An O on the end of the word is masculine.
Yes, it's for the girls, yes.
I took Spanish 2 years.
Well, they made a really big deal about it. There's a limousine coming up through here.
And it was a Hummer limousine.
Oh.
A Hummer.
Wow.
Whoa.
It was very nice. Very nice to have them here.
Yeah. So you can come here anytime. Basically, just don't come after dark. Correct?
Well, by sundown.
Or by sundown, okay.
I think, and about the limit end, they want you out by sundown.
And you can see the museum on the weekends right now on Saturday and Sunday. You're there for that usually, correct?
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the reasons for the sundown thing is people could get hurt.
Oh, I
coming up here
know.
walking around and it's dark. And,
Roots.
and there's thousands of trees up here with roots on
Yeah.
the ground. You got to sort of see where you're going sometime, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, of course, you don't want to be responsible for that, so I understand
right,
that
yeah.
completely.
But we invite people to come and see the park and to enjoy it and use it.
Well, we want to promote it as much as we can, and we're glad
Yeah.
that you gave us this interview today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are more knowledgeable now of the Coke Ovens of
Yes.
Sequatchie County.
Well, I certainly appreciate y'all coming and doing it.
Oh, no problem, no problem. We've enjoyed it.
Hey, you helped us out.
Yeah.
Glad
Thank
to
you,
have
Miss Red. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
And that's it for the Albert and Billy show from Coke Ovens today.
See you, folks.
Thanks for watching.